The day I went to a wedding seemed like an ordinary day at first, a day filled with bright lights, colorful decorations, laughter floating through the air, and music dancing from one corner of the celebration to another. But little did I know that before the night was over, a memory would be written into my heart that I would carry for the rest of my life. I arrived among the crowd wearing my best clothes, greeting relatives, shaking hands with friends, and enjoying the happiness that surrounded the bride and groom. Everywhere I looked, people were smiling, children were running across the hall, and families were gathered together, sharing stories and laughter. It was a beautiful evening, but I thought it would be just another wedding among many weddings I had attended before. Then, without warning, something changed. As I stood near the stage watching the celebration, I felt a strange feeling, as if someone's eyes had quietly found me among hundreds of people. At first, I ignored it, believing it was only my imagination. But when I looked across the room, I saw her. She stood among the guests like a beautiful secret hidden inside a crowd. The lights seemed softer around her, and for a brief moment, everything else disappeared from my sight. I do not know how long I looked in her direction, but I remember seeing her glance toward me before quickly looking away. There was nothing spoken between us, yet somehow that small moment felt louder than all the music playing around us. Throughout the evening, our eyes met again and again. Every time I turned around, I found her looking in my direction, and every time our eyes met, she would smile softly before looking away. It was not a smile meant for everyone. It felt personal, gentle, and filled with a warmth that reached places inside my heart I did not know existed. The wedding celebration continued around us, but for me, the entire evening became a story about a girl whose eyes seemed to be searching for mine. I tried to focus on conversation with friends, but my thoughts kept returning to her. I wondered who she was, where she came from, and why every glance she gave me felt like a page from a love story that had somehow escaped into real life. There was something in the way she looked at me, something impossible to explain. It was not merely curiosity, it was not a passing glance. It felt as though her eyes carried words her lips had not yet spoken. As the night moved forward, I noticed that even when surrounded by people, she seemed aware of where I was standing. Sometimes I would look up unexpectedly and find her watching me. Sometimes she would laugh with her friends, yet her eyes would still wander back toward me. The strange thing was that every time she looked at me, my heart responded with a feeling I had never known before. It felt like hope, excitement, wonder, and fear all at once. I remember standing beneath the wedding lights and thinking that perhaps this was how stories begin, not with dramatic speeches or grand declarations, but with a simple glance exchanged between two strangers. The celebration grew louder as the night continued, but inside me there was a quiet moment unfolding, a moment that belonged only to us. I never forgot the expression in her eyes. There was kindness there and curiosity, and something that felt very close to affection. It was as though she saw something in me that I could not see in myself. I left the wedding that night carrying more than memories of music and celebration. I carried the memory of a girl who watched me from across a crowded room and made an ordinary evening feel unforgettable. As I walked home beneath the stars, her face remained in my thoughts. I wondered whether she was thinking about me too. I wondered whether she had noticed the way my eyes searched for her throughout the evening. I wondered whether fate had quietly introduced us without either of us realizing it. Even now, when I think back to that wedding, I do not remember the decorations first. I do not remember the food, the music, or the speeches. The first thing I remember is her. I remember the way she looked at me, the way her smile seemed to carry unspoken feelings, and the way my heart felt lighter every time our eyes met. Perhaps it was only one evening, perhaps it was only a few glances, yet some moments are powerful enough to stay with us forever. The day I went to a wedding became more than a celebration of two people in love. It became the day a beautiful stranger looked at me in a way that made me believe that maybe, just maybe, a new love story was waiting to begin. I also corrected the title naturally.